Play ball!
Inspired by the adventures of our nurses, therapists, and techs, A Beer with Atlas is the only healthcare traveling, craft beer drinking podcast. Each week, we'll open a few beers, talk about the brewery and the style of beer, and then dive into some research curated specifically for each episode. In the end, we hope each one sounds like a conversation you'd have with your friends while enjoying a few cold ones.
Play ball?
Crack of the bat.
Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian, and my voice is sore from yelling at the game.
There you go. That's exactly
Yeah.
There you go. I'm Dolan. I'm on the knobs. And
He's in the dugout.
my question is, why was play ball a question?
Well, because this week we're doing our spring training beer episode.
It's an annual event.
It is. I look forward to a couple annual events for us, like dad beers. We do those. I think those are fun. I look forward to the Oktoberfest beers. Clean out the beer fridge.
Yep.
And now our spring training episode. Because,
Mainstream May? Are we doing that again?
well, we could.
I mean, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
There's lots of mainstream beers that we haven't touched.
No?
At all. So this week, I actually found these at the store and bought them both. So from Broken Bat Brewing Company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we have Can of Corn,
Yep.
Classic Ballpark Ale,
Okay.
and Big Red Machine Raspberry Pecan Amber Ale.
Weird.
Raspberry pecan?
Yeah. And why? I guess I don't know what. Okay, raspberry because the
Red,
reds
yeah.
were okay, fine. So, yeah, but why pecan amber? I don't know. So,
I
who
guess we'll
knows?
find out.
Maybe there's something.
I don't know. Maybe we'll just taste it and it'll just be like, oh, yeah.
And it, like,
that makes
works.
sense.
All right, so which one do you want to do first?
Let's go with, let's do that one.
Yeah.
The Big Red Machine. So, obviously, the Big Red Machine is a homage name for the Cincinnati Reds of the 1970s, Dolan, because they were
Okay.
a great baseball team, and I don't know, probably 7 of the players or 8 maybe are in the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
So they were just unstoppable back then.
Joe Morgan and
Pete
Johnny
Rose.
Bench and
Yeah.
Pete Rose, and there's just iconic of the 70s.
So I'm not sure what the tank
I don't know.
has to do with it, and there's it seems like a date or maybe some.
Those are numbers, right? I mean, that's
5,
it's-
14, 24. There's probably something behind it.
Is
we
the
just don't
tank red?
No.
Not really.
Oh.
Is it? I'd have to go up and look. Was Joe Morgan 14? Johnny Bench was 14. Joe Morgan might have been 24.
Yeah, he might have
and
been.
Pete Rose was 5.
Could be, yeah.
Maybe. If I had to guess, that's why. Yeah.
Maybe it's just a reference of them being the tank. You know?
I mean,
Unstoppable.
They were
Unstoppable.
unstoppable. Yeah. So Broken Bat Brewing Company is not located in Cincinnati like you would think.
Yeah.
It's 135 East Pittsburgh Avenue in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Open Monday through Thursday, 3 to 10, Friday and Saturday, noon to 10, and Sunday, noon to 6. Founded in 2017 by Tim Pauley, a longtime baseball and craft beer fan.
Sounds like me.
There you go.
Except I'm not going to open a brewery anytime soon. But.
Did you go through and write down some of their beer names? I assumed you did.
Yes, I did. All right. Because they're all baseball names.
All of them.
Now, first thing I want to hit before we get to those is the tap room.
Yes.
Has an indoor wiffle ball field.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
you can like reserve
You go play wiffle ball there.
That's
with
kind
your
of cool.
bros. Yeah. I've never seen that before. Okay. Fungo Lager, 4.5%.
You know what a fungo is? Dolan?
No idea what a fungo is.
It's a weird bat.
Yeah, it's like a plastic kind of bat.
Kind of rubber on the
Yeah.
outside.
That's not the one that like bends, right?
No.
That's like the training bat.
It's a
or-
training bat. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have fungos. Yeah.
Okay.
So these beers are on tap. These ones I'm talking about. Batter's Eye Rye. So the IPA, Rye IPA, 6.8.
For those of you who don't know, the batter's eye is the green part in the outfield, like right above the center field, where you can't have any fans.
Yes.
Every ballpark has it.
Yes.
There's an empty space where the batter would be looking directly at the pitcher. That's the batter's eye.
Because otherwise it'd be just about impossible to see that baseball.
Distracting. Yep.
It's already hard enough to hit a ball.
Right.
So, Yaz. Triple. And it's a Triple Crown Ale. Is 8.7%.
After Carl Yastrzemski.
Yes, which is strange because he's, I don't think ever played in Cincinnati or Milwaukee or any of those places, but he's just a well-known baseball dude. Yeah. The last guy to get the Triple Crown, I think. Is that right?
I thought Miguel Cabrera won it. After.
Did he?
I thought he did. At least once.
We'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Stoinker.
I actually saw that, and I do not know what a stoinker is.
It's like a slang term for like a bloop hit. So like just gets over the infield and drops in front of the outfield.
Stoinker.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Dunkelweizen, so 5.6. The Ofer, which is the cold IPA, which is I don't know if that's the next new IPA thing, but I've seen a lot of places having cold IPAs. I don't even know what it means yet. I haven't researched it.
Interesting.
Core Mexican Lager.
Core.
Which is strange because I had to look that up.
Yeah.
It means run.
There you go. Scramble. But I said it was in Portuguese. I was like, well, there's not a lot of Portuguese baseball players that I know about. But okay.
No.
And then they have one that's called Pablo, Mexican Chocolate Stout. And I was like, okay, what's that all about? And then I looked on the image of the beer. I was like, that looks familiar. Did some research on that.
Okay.
It's named after this guy named Pablo Sanchez.
Oh.
Maybe you'll know him because he's a video game character.
In the backyard sports. Yeah.
Yes, so he was like the main dude. And his nickname was the secret weapon. So he was tiny, but he could hit hard and he could throw it fast. And he was in all the other sports games too, it looked like. 1997, those kind of came out. So I was like aware of it. I'd seen it, but I never played it or anything. But I was like, okay, so a certain kids that grew up with that are now at the brewery, and they'd be like, oh, I got to have that beer.
Yes.
So that works for them. And then the ones on some canned beers, they have one called Daryl, which is a strawberry kettle sour, 5.5%.
That's an easy name.
I've had that one.
Yeah.
Czech Swing, perfect name for a Pilsner, 4%.
Czech, CZECH, right? Yeah, perfect.
Ugly Finder, which is a hazy IPA. And that one, Dolan, it's kind of like when you hit a foul ball and it goes into the stand or the dugout and it hits somebody, usually on your team, you call that an ugly finder. It finds the ugliest player on the team and hits them with it.
Yep.
And then they had an Arm Barn, another hazy IPA, 6% on that one. So, which I think is like the bullpen or
Arm Barn.
Yeah.
The bullpen. Yeah.
So those are some of the beer names I wrote down.
I wrote down a couple more here for you. They have one called Ricky.
Oh, okay.
I didn't write down what beers they were, but I just thought the names are funny. So the one from
Major League.
From Major League, yeah. Also from Major League, Just a Wit Outside.
Oh, perfect.
Exactly.
And that's in Milwaukee, and that's Bob Uecker, so that's perfect for him.
I think it was an IPA. It was called Straight Ched.
Oh, like cheddar.
Cheddar, yeah.
Okay.
It's a really good pitch. Good.
Yeah.
There's another movie reference here For the Love of the Game, Beer the Mechanism. So when he would say clear the mechanism and it would all go quiet and then he would throw a pitch, then this is called Beer the Mechanism.
So now with the clock coming on, it'd be a little tougher to do that nowadays.
I don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about that.
All right.
No. Down the Line was another one.
All right.
Just down the line. So, right inside. So double, generally, just down the line. Unwritten rules.
There's a lot of those in baseball.
How do you feel about the unwritten rules in baseball?
I love them.
Okay, I do too.
Hey, if without them,
Yep.
it's chaos.
Right. Okay, let me ask you this. We're going to get real deep into unwritten rules here.
Okay.
It's 1-0.
Yeah.
It's the bottom of the ninth.
Okay.
And the pitcher on the mound is a no-hitter.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Okay? You just need a base runner at that point.
Uh-huh.
You lay down a bunt,
Hell yeah, you lay down a bunt.
you're going to get one square in the back for doing that.
Yeah,
though.
you're going to get hit. But you're trying to win the game.
You're trying to win the game.
Yeah.
Now, if it was
6-0?
No.
1-0, you got to get somebody on.
You got it. Okay, so you still got a no-hitter. You walk a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Still no-hitter, right?
Yeah.
Dude still second.
Yeah.
Okay. 6-0. The dude's still second. Do you still plant one in his back next time you see him?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. See, that's baseball though. That's it. You just know
That's
know.
right.
You know.
There's a way the game's played.
Yep, absolutely. And it should resolve itself on the field.
That's right. Police themselves.
Yep. Flash and leather was another one they had.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a good one. So you make a really good play, you flash the leather, with the baseball glove.
I loved playing defense.
Yeah.
I was one of those guys that hit it to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like playing baseball, you're usually saying, "Don't hit it to me. Don't hit it to me."
No, hit it to
I
me.
want him to hit it to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't always going to get it, but I wanted the chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's why I'm sitting here, not in the MLB Hall of Fame.
I played t-ball.
Well, see,
Hey,
there
dude,
you go.
you
That's
gotta
something.
start someplace.
Right. Laser Show was
That's
another
another
one.
beer?
That was another one they had. Laser Show.
Was it like a
It's
home
like
run?
when you're hitting bombs. Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's one called Yabo. Cage Bombs.
Man, they have a lot of beers.
Yeah, tons of beers. They, of course, had one called just 42.
Okay. Jackie Robinson beer.
Murderer's Row. They had one called Murderer's Row.
Good lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then finally one called Junior. And it had
For Ken Griffey.
Yep, and it had like him swinging
The
with
swing?
his swing.
You know, he has like his own line of like athletic
Yeah,
leisure wear and hats and
why not?
yeah, why not? It's very, especially for people our age, that image of him swinging the bat, like the back swing off a home run.
Yep.
It's almost as good as the Jordan logo. Like you know it when you see it. You're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
Griffey Jr.
There's two guys that
Wasn't
have
his dad in the Big Red Machine?
was
there
Senior.
at that
Yeah,
time?
you know what? I think he was.
Yeah.
I think he was. Still the only father-son duo to ever go back-to-back, hit back-to-back home runs in a game.
pretty cool.
Senior and Junior. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Did Senior go first? Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Senior went first, and then Junior was up right behind him and hit a home run. So
Man, that'd be crazy, wouldn't it?
I think we lost Dolan already.
He's
lost
in the
I think that's cool. I mean, that's got to
Yeah.
be. You said that was
Still,
the only time.
The only time. Yeah.
I mean,
you got to play a long time to play with your son in a professional sport. You know,
Yes.
it doesn't happen.
and
Yeah.
then you're still hitting home runs. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next thing we'll see will probably be LeBron and his kid alley-ooping to each other.
Yeah, probably.
That'll-
Oh yeah.
that'll
I bet
happen.
he sticks around long enough for that. For sure.
I would.
Yeah.
All right, so we've kind of just scratched the surface on baseball. Because I've got a whole bunch of other names written down.
Ooh.
Some more slang terms.
Oh, I love it.
So if you're like, I don't know, not even a newbie, but maybe you're sitting on the couch and your husband's watching baseball or your significant other and you hear these phrases, you might say, what the heck is that?
Yeah, yeah.
Because there is like a code. There's a whole different language in baseball.
Absolutely.
Or you're taking your kid. Let's say you're taking your kid to the game.
Yeah.
And you're going to teach them some of these things.
Yep.
So this is what we got here. Frozen rope.
Line drive.
Hard hit line drive.
Yeah.
Just like a straight off there.
Yep.
You ever heard this phrase? Don't rub it.
Oh yeah, when you get hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't rub it.
Hit? No.
No, you just run down to first. You
That's
take
right.
your base.
Yeah, it's kind of like The Gambler, the song. You got to know when to hold them and fold them.
Yeah.
You don't rub that.
Don't rub it.
when you get hit with the ball.
Is that just like a sign of weakness?
That's
or-
right, man.
Yeah,
You don't
okay.
show that it hurts. You just
Yeah.
I was
you
like,
go
is there a-
cry at first base.
Is there like a health reason for this?
No.
It's just to show the other team, like,
Yeah.
machismo. You're
Yep.
like, it didn't hurt. It didn't
okay.
hurt me. And then you get to
Exactly.
the first base and you're like, and
Yeah.
the coach rubs your back. Golden sombrero. 4 strikeouts in a game.
Oh.
Been there.
Ofer.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah.
Bush League. We talked about this a little bit.
Yes.
That's being unprofessional or playing the ball game without class. Mm-hmm. So maybe you were doing some of those unwritten rule things. Mm-hmm. That's Bush League stuff.
Bush
That's
League.
usually where fights start.
Yep.
Case of the yips.
Yips. Oh, Johnny Lester.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Remember, in my example is Mackie Sasser.
Yes.
Remember him?
Yes.
So there was this catcher for the Mets, Dolan. It was like 89, 90, 91, somewhere in there. And for some reason, he just could not throw the ball back to the mound. Like it just got into his head. He just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He would throw it over the pitcher like every time.
Yep.
Or he would like triple pump it or throw it into the ground. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty much the end of his career.
Yeah, that was it.
He couldn't do the job, so he was out.
Yeah.
He couldn't throw the ball.
No.
Back to the pitcher. He could
He had
throw it
the
anywhere
yips.
else,
Yeah.
but he could not throw it there.
He could laser it down to first. He could throw guys out stealing, but just that simple act of throwing it back to the mound,
Couldn't do it.
couldn't do it. John Lester was the same way. John Lester was the Cubs' #1 pitcher. Came to the Cubs specifically to win a World Series. Could not throw to first on a pickoff play. Could not. It was just it was just something about it. He would bounce them into the ground. It would just, yeah.
And you need a good first baseman if that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew, that's tough.
Yeah.
Baseball's a lot of your head.
Yeah, so much.
Because there's so much waiting around. You know,
Yep.
if you can't block out your own thoughts, you're in trouble, I think.
Yep.
A pea.
P.
A hard thrown ball.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's throwing peas from shortstop, maybe.
Ah.
There's a lot of food references I've noticed here. So we're going to go on a food run. Rhubarb.
Nope.
A fight or scuffle.
Oh.
So they got into a little bit of a rhubarb.
Or rhubarb.
A pickle.
It's a rundown.
So you're stuck between a base.
Yep.
And then you're going to get out. And you're going back and forth and back and forth. That's
Oh
a
yeah,
pickle
I know
play.
that.
Pickle.
I learned that in Sandlot.
There you go. A bean ball.
That's when you get
hit.
hit.
A cookie.
Is that the easy pitch to hit? Yeah.
So they throw it right down the middle. It's a cookie.
Cookie.
Cheese or cheddar, we talked about.
Yeah.
A meatball, similar.
Similar, easy to hit. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a softball. The ball's looking big, and you just crush it. Nibble. Nibbling around the corner on the edge. It's a pitcher's trying too hard to
Nibbles.
not get it over the middle.
Yep.
A tater.
It's when you a home run, right?
home run.
Yeah.
Table setter.
The guy that gets on base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like our on my team for the Royals. I would say that this year, hopefully, that's going to be Nicky Lopez. He's our table setter.
I think so too.
What else? Baltimore chop.
No.
I didn't know this one. I mean, I know what it was, but I didn't know the name for it. It's when you hit the ball and it hits home plate and it bounces over the infield.
Oh.
So it's like a hard, you know what I mean? Like, have you seen that before?
Yeah.
That's called a Baltimore chop.
Didn't know that.
I didn't either. And then lastly, do I have any more? I think that was it. We did the tater. We did all those. Can of corn.
Can of corn. Yeah. Easy
Can
to
of
catch.
corn.
Easy to catch fly ball.
You don't even have to move for it.
Yep.
You just put your glove out and it right into you.
Can of corn.
Can of corn.
I wrote down a couple of those too. I figured you might, so I wrote down a few. Ephus pitch.
No idea.
Ephus?
No.
It's a very, let's see, here's the official, the high arcing curveball invented by pitcher Rip Sewell in the 1930s. So it's a very slow, high arcing curveball.
Like a Clayton Kershaw curveball?
Even slower, like 50
my
miles an
gosh.
hour, just like whoop, Ephus.
I bet Zach Greinke could throw one of
Oh,
those.
I bet he probably could. You're totally right. Cup of coffee.
So when you come up from the minor leagues for your first time, you get a little short stint in the pros.
Yeah, maybe you get set back down afterwards,
Yeah.
or that's a cup
You
of
didn't-
coffee.
Didn't quite do it.
Yep. Texas Leaguer. Now, I tried to figure out
Texas
exactly
Leaguer.
where this came from. A Texas Leaguer is a short fly ball that falls too far out to be caught, but the infield can't get to it either. So
So it's like a blooper.
it's a blooper, like whatever you called the
Stoinker or whatever that was.
it's a
Huh.
Texas Leaguer.
Texas Leaguer. I wonder what that comes from.
I don't know. And then finally, I had can of corn too. So
Can of corn.
I did look that up to see, okay, where did that originate from?
Yeah.
So apparently there was, in the 1920s, 30s, there was a guy that played outfield who also part-timed. He was very tall, and he part-timed at a grocery store. And he was tall enough to get the cans of corn off the top shelf, and he wore an apron. So if they needed corn, he would open up his apron and go doink, and he would just pop them right into his
Really?
apron. Yeah. Can of corn.
Yeah, that's perfect. I was
Maybe.
hoping he was catching the ball with an empty can of corn. Like, that would be even better, but because he was tall and could reach the corn, that's great.
When you see some of those guys that maybe grew up in poorer parts of like the Dominican or
Sure.
wherever that are using, like they cut out milk jugs and they use milk jugs as a glove.
Yeah.
Have you seen that where they have the handle and then they'll cut it out so it kind of looks like a glove. And that's what that's their first glove. That's what they start with.
Yeah.
So
If you want to play baseball, you'll find a way.
you find a way.
Yeah. It's
Right?
like soccer, I think, or football.
Yep.
We got a beer. Can of corn.
Let's open that one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
How'd you guys feel about the first one?
It was an interesting.
I like the raspberry.
Yeah, the raspberry was nice.
The pecan was at the end for me. It's like an aftertaste that I'm not a super fan of.
I'd love to be able to talk to Tim and understand, okay, why those two flavors together? There had to have been some reason for it.
Yeah.
But why those two flavors together? Because that seems like an odd pairing, maybe.
Yeah, I wasn't. I liked it because of the style of beer. Like, I love amber ales, so I liked it. But the pecan was kind of off for me. I liked the raspberry up front, and I didn't like the pecan finish as much.
Yeah, I like raspberry anyway in my beer, so I was fine with that. I thought it was good. I wouldn't be sad if you served me that beer.
It says the colors are changing, and the winds of playoff baseball are almost here. Grab this fall classic, a traditional amber with hints of raspberry and pecan, to enjoy during Wisconsin's most beautiful season. So maybe that's something that's in season in the fall, is a pecan. Maybe that's when you harvest them. Maybe in Wisconsin there's a bunch of pecans, or in Ohio maybe, since this is a kind of a Cincinnati homage. I don't know, but that would be my guess.
Yeah. I'm happy I've got 3 more of those beers in the back. So.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah. I got some crazy baseball stats for you.
Okay. Are these like Jason Stark?
Yes.
That dude is amazing.
Yes.
I love reading his stuff.
Now, the first one I want to believe, I don't know if it's necessarily true, but I want to believe it.
Okay.
And there are people online that will tell you it's not. But I can tell you after watching Greg Maddux throw all those years that I kind of believe that this is true. Okay?
All right.
Here's a stat. Greg Maddux faced 20,421 batters during his time in the majors. Only 310 of them ever saw a 3-0 count. 3 balls, no strikes. Okay?
Yeah.
177 of those were intentional walks. When they had to throw all 4 balls, right? Mm-hmm. So of the 310, over the 20,000 plus, 177 were intentional walks. That stats is mind blowing.
It is, but also watching him my whole life, like when he first started with the Cubs on WGN, and then he went over to TBS with the Braves when you actually could watch those games, and then back to
the Cubs.
I believe it.
Yep. No one. One of my favorite memes, and it always comes up every year around this time on Facebook, and I'll reshare it. I paid Greg Maddux to paint my house, and all I got was the corners. And it's a white house, which is like blue streaks on the corners of the house.
Nice.
Painting the corners. So he was a master at hitting the sides of the plate and getting that strike call. He
was not a nibbler.
He was not a nibbler. No.
He didn't have to. He had the
He would
control.
paint. He would straight paint.
Yep.
Okay, next one. This one's hard to believe. But if you really break it down, I think it seems legitimate. Albert Pujols has gotten a hit off of 10.21% of all players to ever throw a pitch in a Major League ball game. Over 10% of all players to ever throw a pitch, Albert Pujols not only faced, got a hit off of.
That's amazing.
That's an amazing stat. Yeah. That guy, he's and I can talk, I've told this story before. He hit a ball so hard I felt it in my chest. Like I couldn't. We were right down by the on deck circle. And it was a cold, rainy day at Wrigley, and the Cardinals were just beating the shit out of us. And he hit a ball so hard, like I could feel the reverberation, like you could feel it. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it.
He's from Kansas City. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yes, he is. Yep. You want a fun read? Go find the scouting report from the scout that found him in Kansas City.
Yeah.
It was like, this guy will never, ever have a Major League ball career. Never.
Whoops.
Yep.
Hopefully they fired that guy.
I hope so too. Yep.
And he's just a good dude.
Yeah.
His charity work is unbelievable.
As a Cardinal man, it was so easy for me to hate him on the field, but off the field, the dude is unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, here's one for all the Mets fans out there. This one made Steve Ryan feel bad yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because he's been a Mets fan all his life.
Yeah.
Jacob deGrom has 68 career starts. One more time. Jacob deGrom has 68 career quality starts.
Okay.
So quality start is 6 innings or more.
Yes.
Okay. In which he did not earn a win. He is 0-23 in those games with a 2.21 ERA. That means the Mets could not hit the ball to give him any kind of run support at all. None. He was dominant. The Mets hitters stunk.
That's true.
Yeah.
because the Mets are kind of my National League team. And I would agree with that. Oof.
That's a rough one. That's
Yeah.
a rough one.
That's bad because you're wasting good years of pitching. Yeah. And pitching is hard to get.
Yep, exactly. Yep. All right, here, next one. Ichiro Suzuki.
Oh, I love Ichiro.
Me too. Yeah, that dude was pure. He was just pure.
Yeah.
Ichiro Suzuki hit over 300 for his career. If he came back today and he went 0 for 444, so he had 444 plate appearances, did not get a hit, struck out. Let's say he struck out.
Yeah.
He would still be over a career average of 300.
That's pretty good.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Career average. So that includes all of his time in Japan too, obviously,
Sure.
or whatever. I will fight you. He's the hit king. I don't
Yep.
care what Pete Rose says.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And finally, Ricky Henderson.
Ricky. Being Ricky.
Right. No crazy stat conversation
Oh, yeah.
is complete without a Ricky Henderson stat. Okay? Ricky Henderson, if a baseball player today stole 50 bases for 28 straight seasons, Ricky would still hold the stolen base record.
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That guy was unstoppable on the base paths. Unstoppable.
I mean, baseball was way different back then. I mean, obviously.
You still had catchers throwing people out. I mean, you still,
Yeah.
you know, that.
I mean, you still have to get on base,
Yeah.
first of all.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it's played differently and the rules are different.
Yep.
But you still have to get to first base to steal second and third
Yep.
and home, probably, for him.
For a while there, and I'd have to verify this. For a while there, Ricky held the. They would intentionally walk him in the leadoff spot. He held the record for intentional walks in one season. For whatever, and then why would you put him on base? I would
Yeah.
you'd think, but he also held the record for most home runs
yeah.
from the leadoff spot.
Yep.
So you don't want him to just smoke you at the plate, but then you put him on base and he's on third 2 pitches later.
Talk about a table setter. He was the ultimate.
Ding, ding, ding.
He was the ultimate.
Yep.
Oh, man, he was so fun to watch, too. I mean, you just knew he was going to do it. There's nothing you could do.
Nothing you can do about it. Well, and that was Vince Coleman for me.
I mean, some of those guys stole 100 plus bases
Yeah.
a year. You'll never, ever see that again.
No,
Never.
no. Well, you had D. Gordon for a while, right?
Yeah.
And that guy could steal
He's
bases.
fast.
Who was the other guy?
I mean,
Gosh.
even Whit Merrifield, he was still 40.
Yep.
But we need that because we didn't have any home run hitters on the Royals team. We've always been that way.
You've always had, yeah.
We've always had to run.
Yep. Frank White. Frank
Yeah,
White
he
was
was
stealing
good.
bases.
Yeah. I remember Johnny Damon when he played with us.
Yep.
Carlos Beltran. Those guys were all pretty good at swiping bags.
Who was the other?
Willie Wilson was really good at that.
That's right.
He was fast.
Gore. Terrence Gore.
Yeah.
That guy was fast.
Oh, yeah. So was Mondesi when he was with us.
Yeah, he was.
Thank goodness he is no longer. Hot take. All right, so I did a little research on this tank thing because I was like, that's really bugging me.
Mm-hmm.
And we were right. It's for the Hall of Famers, but we got one of them wrong.
Oh, okay.
Well, because one of those guys we talked about is not in the Hall of Fame.
Joe Morgan?
P. Rose.
No. Yeah.
So we got three. There's three guys on the team in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
We have we got one, Johnny Bench, right?
Johnny Bench. Yep.
And then we got Joe Morgan.
Yep.
And then there is Mr. Perez,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
which I think we forgot about him.
We did forget about him. That's true.
They call him the Great Eight.
Okay.
So the lineup was Bench, Rose, Morgan, Perez, hitting fourth, Concepcion, Foster, Griffey, and Geronimo, which I don't remember.
I don't remember.
They call him the Great Eight. Between those guys, in the 70s, they got 63 All-Star games.
That-
And 125 Gold Gloves.
Would that be where Murderer's Row came from?
Could be.
Yeah. Could you imagine having to face that lineup? Holy smokes!
Yeah.
How many World Series did they win? 3, 4, 3.
Let's see.
I mean, they won quite a few. This was my first introduction to baseball. Like that back then. My brother was a big Pete Rose fan. Loved Pete Rose.
Yeah. What's his nickname? Charlie Hustle?
Charlie Hustle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I met Pete Rose at he was signing autographs at a store just outside the Luxor in Las Vegas, and I'm with my brother. We're wearing all of our Cubs gear, And he was like, "Oh God, Cubs fans." But honestly, if you pay Pete Rose $75, he'll put his name on anything for you.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll sit down and talk to you, and that's not a negative at all. Like he just, he does that. He'll sign. He'll sit down at a table and sign for anybody if you pay him $75. And he'll write anything on the ball too, like anything. I shot JFK. Anything you want.
That was a random thing you just said there.
I've seen that ball before. I actually have one that says, "Bart, I'm sorry, I bet on baseball," and it's Pete Rose. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyway, so we sit down at the table. We're taking pictures with him and stuff, and there's nobody else in line. He was like, "Oh, you guys got some time?" We're like, "Hell yeah, we got some time."
For you, Pete.
Talk to Pete Rose. Are you kidding? He's like, "Let me tell you about Wrigley Field. That place was so shitty. It was so bad. The visitor now, and this was before they did some of the renovations and stuff." He was like, here's what you had to do. You don't eat before a game at Wrigley Field as a visiting team, because there was only a couple stalls, so you couldn't go take a dump. Our wives are there or whatever. And he's telling us the story. So you had to wait until afterwards. And if you waited until after the game and you went and you took a shit, then as soon as you flushed the toilet, all the showers would go cold. And he goes, "Now, if we had a bad game or something, I would hold it and wait until those guys were in the shower. And then I would go take a dump, and I would just repeatedly flush the toilet."
When he was managing?
When he was managing, yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, he would do it on purpose if they had a bad game.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a photo of him, a signed photo of him sliding headfirst into home at Wrigley, so you can tell it's Wrigley because there's the brick behind it and all that. So, yeah.
And he was fun to watch.
Yeah, he was.
2 World Series they won.
2, okay. All right.
6 divisions, 4 pennants for the National League. Won 2 World Series.
That's still
pretty good.
That's
for baseball.
Good. That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Well, that's all the baseball research and stuff I did.
Okay.
Let's do a little prognosticating.
Oh boy.
Forecasting.
Okay. All right.
I know my team pretty well.
Yeah.
They're gonna suck. They're gonna suck real bad. If they win more than 62 games, I will be shocked.
Let's talk about some individuals on your team. Do you think
we have 2 all-star level players?
Yep.
Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvi.
Yeah.
Those are our 2 guys. And Salvi's getting old, man, and he's catching still almost every day.
I can't believe you left Nicky Lopez out of that.
I'd like him. I mean,
I think he is.
The defense is undeniable. He can play everywhere.
And he steals bases. Get him on base.
The batting average come up a little bit.
Yep.
Like he did maybe 2 seasons ago.
2 seasons ago. He hit for
he was
better than average.
Yep.
And he stole, 35 bases?
Yeah, I think
probably?
so. Yeah. Plus, he's kind of the unsung fun guy in the locker room, I think.
Yeah.
Him and Salvi have a good connection, but
I heard his fiance is very nice too. So
I think she's pretty good at what she does.
yeah, she is.
So that's my Royals forecast. We have signed a former Red, former Yankee, former probably Cub. Did he play with the Cubs?
Well, he won a World Series for us.
He's been everywhere, and he's also, the research I did on him, slowest to home plate. The slowest pitcher to home plate.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
He will be up against that clock.
Yeah.
That we don't want to talk about. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a rough season, and I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, mostly to see all the other teams come in.
Yeah.
They've made the biggest change to the schedule in probably history. You play every team all the time now. Every year you play every single team.
That'd be awesome.
And that's what
gonna
they're
be
finally
awesome.
doing. So it's cut down on all the inter-divisional games that used to get.
Yep.
Got rid of a bunch of those. Now you'll get to see the Pirates if that's your
Sure.
team.
Yeah.
Or the Padres, or any other National League team.
Yep.
You will get to see them, or you'll see them play at that place. So you get to see a lot more of the stars
That'll be fun.
of baseball,
Yeah.
which is great.
All right, I'll give you the Cubs here.
Yeah.
Oh boy, because I want to believe. But here's the thing: like I know after all these years, I've had my heart broken so many times.
Oh yeah,
I mean, the 2003 and 1984, and I mean, there's so many of them, and just so many players that came through that you thought they were gonna be awesome, and then they fizzle out, and it just isn't.
like Jerome Walton.
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Oh yeah, Rookie of the Year.
We had our own Bob Hamlin.
Yeah.
We had that guy.
Felix PA. Remember him?
yeah.
There's guys that just man, they should have been. They just should. Brett Jackson, and there was just so many. Brett Jackson was an amazing person. Just he couldn't hit at the major league level though. It was he reminds me a lot of Bubba Starling.
Yeah.
Same sort of player. We've done a lot to our lineup. We have a really young, solid pitching core. We will, if I had to guess right now, man, if we could squeak in as a wild card, that'd be awesome. I think we'll be second or third in the National League with some work to do, and the Cardinals will win the division again, I believe.
I think so too.
And the Brewers will get second, and it will come in second, and possibly be a wild card team. Now, if we could squeak in, if we could move into second place, we're not going to win the division. We're just not right now. It's not going to happen yet. But man, if we could, that'd make the season worthwhile. I think.
I think we will be the worst team in all of baseball. That's what I think.
I don't know about that. I don't
I don't know. I mean, we had 2 Gold Glovers in the outfield. We traded them away.
Got rid of. It was crazy.
I don't know who we're putting out there.
No.
We had some quality bench guys. We got rid of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd call Marty and find out, like, okay, who are you going to put on your program this year? Because whoever it is, they're going to call him up within the first 2 weeks of the season.
That's usually how it works.
Exactly. All right, TripAdvisor, 4.5 or 4 out of 5 on 22 reviews. I couldn't find the TripAdvisor were all just fine. There wasn't anything like funny or negative. The negative ones were just stupid, and not stupid like in a funny way.
Yeah.
So I found this on Google. Becky gave this brewery a 1 star.
Oh boy.
On Google, yeah, and she's never been to a brewery before, I don't think.
Oh.
Okay. This is her.
So this is her cup of coffee.
It's totally true. Here's her review. Walked in. ... 6 people at the bar. ... Sat at a table. ... 10 minutes at a table. ... No acknowledgement of our presence. ... No interest in being in business, so don't waste your time.
Oh, so she didn't know you have to go to the bar and get your beer at a brewery because that's how it works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what you do. They don't have waiters or waitresses.
Not any that I know of.
No. She's never been to a brewery before.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Quite honestly, I don't know if they want her business anymore either, so there you go.
Becky.
Yeah. Nor should she be posting on any kind of
social
forum like this, yeah.
I wonder if those beers we drank a while back are after Becky. That Becky.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Dang.
All right, Untapped. Can of corn, 270 check-ins. Not very many.
You know, I forgot to tell you about can of corn.
Okay.
It's made with corn.
I wondered because
From
Wisconsin?
the famous Field of Dreams baseball field.
No way.
Okay.
No,
Yes.
that's
Interesting.
not true.
It is. It's true.
A ballpark ale brewed with the actual corn from the legendary Iowa baseball dream field. Can of corn was brewed to bring those who truly love the purity of the game together. Just like Ray built the field, find your seat and dream a little. Grab a cold one and enjoy 2 of America's greatest pastimes. Well,
Yeah. I mean,
should have read that ahead of time.
5 out of 5 right there.
Man,
I like that one a
beautiful.
lot.
I did too.
That was
I did
great.
too. It was
It's
great.
like classic. I mean, if you imagine sitting watching a game drinking that beer.
Brewed in Wisconsin, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we going with here?
270 check-ins. Where do you think we land?
363.
My ERA 3.84.
3.59.
That's good ERA nowadays.
That's not bad. That gets you a contract. That league minimum.
Oh yeah,
right? At least.
Oh, 3.5. That's great nowadays,
Yeah.
especially in the. Well, now everybody has a designated hitter, so
Yeah.
that's good everywhere.
All right, Big Red Machine, 289 check-ins.
Man, these are small check-ins.
Yeah, not very many. But we got them here. This was at Hy-Vee. I was at Hy-Vee 2 weeks ago, and I picked those up.
I don't know. That one was just so weird. It's hard to try to guess on this. I'm going to go 358.
358. 3.33.
3.47.
347.
Yeah, 347.
That's pretty good.
Yep. So, I'll tell you what. As our spring training beers have gone, These maybe have been the most unique out of the ones that we've done.
Well, and it's definitely the most baseball-centric brewery we've ever had.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I know. I want to get to Milwaukee to go to a game. I want to go to Wrigley North at some point and watch the Cubs play at their other home field there. And this is definitely on my list. I want to go to this brewery now.
So some of the merchandise they had, I forgot to tell you this before we jump off, was that Ricky that you were naming. They had a bunch of like T-shirts and stuff with the logo on it, which is him with the glasses and the mohawk. And they had, what was the other one? Oh, Mr. Oktoberfest.
Mr.
T-shirt.
Oktoberfest.
That's their Oktoberfest beer name. So that's Reggie Jackson's nickname because he was amazing playoff baseball player. So those were two of the things I wrote down. And they have a beach ball.
A beach ball?
Yeah.
Oh, to play with like out in the stands or whatever. Yeah.
And they had some, which I had never seen before, candles.
Oh.
So they're in like a beer can, like a soy candle. The top's cut off and the candle's there. And one of the ones that they had was the Just a Wit outside.
Oh.
And then it's a candle.
Candle.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So that's what they got.
Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, right? Who was Mr. November? Do you remember this? It was Mr. November.
Oh, gosh. It's probably like Scott Brocious or something dumb.
Well, it was a Yankee.
Aaron Boone.
Derek Jeter.
Oh, Derek Jeter.
Yeah, there you go.
Jeter.
Yep. No. We lost Olin. We totally lost him.
Yeah, it's okay. That happens once a year.
You know what? Here, we've had enough baseball episodes. See if my knowledge, see if my memory is good. Okay.
Okay,
When
good.
you guys talk about ERA,
Yeah.
that's how many balls you can hit out of 10 pitches, right?
Not even close.
Okay.
No.
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 All right.
ERA is what earned run average for a pitcher.
Earned run average
Earned
for a
runs
pitcher.
are hits that you give up that cause a run to score. That isn't an error, fielder's choice. Wait, does fielder's choice count? Yeah, that would still count.
Yeah.
That would still count. So an error
Is that per game or per inning?
9 innings.
per 9 innings.
Per 9 innings.
Yeah.
Okay.
And nobody throws 9 innings anymore.
No.
They used to, but not no more.
So it's an aggregate taken divided by
Right.
9, and that gets you that number.
Okay.
So,
And sub 4 is nowadays amazing.
yeah.
So what I'm talking about then is what? Hitting average?
Batting average?
Yeah,
Batting
kind
average?
of. Yeah.
Yeah, batting average.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so when we talked about
Right.
Ichiro hitting over 300, that's he would get a hit 3 out of 10 times.
And that's amazing.
So
in
that's what
baseball.
that means.
Yes.
Okay.
And
All
that-
right.
and
I
that
remember we
is-
talked about that once, but
Hall of Fame level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
300, which is that's what they always say about baseball. It's the only sport where you can fail 7 out of 10 times and be an all-star.
And still being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, be
so
the
that's the
best.
like I get the rules of baseball. Like I can watch a baseball game and understand what's going on, but I never understand the stats. Or like when I look up the board, I'm like, that's the score. Everything else does not make sense to me.
Yeah,
You know what I love
Yeah.
is when you're just at a game and you're not really, you're paying attention, but
Sure.
you know something's happening, and you look up at the scoreboard and you look down the row and you see 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then you see 0, 0, 0.
Oh,
And you realize, wait a minute, I'm watching a no hitter.
Yeah.
Like we're in the 6th, and
I've never even been close to one.
I've there was one time at Warner Park we saw one, and
Oh.
it was magic.
Cool.
It was unbelievable, and the place was just electric. It was unbelievable, and there was maybe only 1,000 of us left, but people stayed, and
Yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah, magic.
No, I never seen anything cool like that.
Yeah. I'll go watch any game anywhere, anytime. So,
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Baseball season is here.
yeah. All right. Next week we've got some. We have more fruit next week in our beers than we've ever had before.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's true.
I don't even know. Yeah. If you're lactose intolerant, if you don't like fruit at all,
If you hate fructose, like if you're just like, nah, give me sucrose, dog.
yep. This episode is not
Skip
for
it.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until then, we're not going anywhere for a while.
Let's have another beer.
Stick around. It's gonna be fruitful.
Oh no.
Thank you for listening to A Beer with Atlas. Special thanks to our brand team for producing the show. Each episode of A Beer with Atlas is powered by Atlas MedStaff, an industry leader in travel healthcare staffing.